Mia's first few weeks at Dante's Pizza were a dream come true. 22 and newly independent, she'd landed the night shift at the old brick-and-mortar shop tucked between the laundromat and an antique record store. The neon "Open" sign buzzed half-heartedly, and the bell above the door jingled plaintively whenever someone wandered in. Nights were slow here, just enough orders to keep her busy rolling dough, slicing toppings, and manning the wood-fired oven. But when the new delivery arrived late on a rain-slicked Tuesday, everything changed. The arrival. It was well past midnight when the rumble of the van pulled up out front. Mia glanced up from kneading dough, smoothing her calloused hands on her apron. Through the back door, Tony, her shift's only other employee, grunted as he hefted 2 heavy boxes inside. "They smell off," Mia said as he dropped them onto the prep table. The cardboard whispers of shifting contents inside were unnerving. "Boss says we gotta use 'em," Tony shrugged. He pinched his nose. "Got an order for a midnight special." Mia's heart sank. They'd never done special pizzas before. She eyed the unmarked boxes. No labels, no list of ingredients, just damp tape and a faint, metal tang in the air. The preparation. Under the harsh fluorescent lights, Mia reluctantly pried open the first box. Inside, wrapped in oiled parchment, were what looked like grayish strips of meat, marbled with veins of fat that glinted under the bulbs. The second box contained small, bulbous lumps the size of walnuts, slick and mottled with dark spots. Tony picked up a lump, wedging his finger into its surface. "Smells like ammonia," he noted. Mia swallowed hard. "And what are these supposed to be?" Tony shrugged again. "Beats me. Boss just said shred them thin." She washed her hands obsessively, but the acid sting in her nostrils remained. Donning gloves, she began slicing the strips into thin ribbons. As she did, the meat seemed to pulse, an almost imperceptible throb, like the faint beat of a distant heart. The walnuts, she hesitated before tossing them into a bowl. They split open in her hand, releasing a rancid squelch and a swirl of dust-like spores. The midnight special. The order slip was sparse: midnight special, large. Extra cheese, extra, everything. No customer name, no address, just the words scrawled in hurried, jagged handwriting. Mia layered the dough with tomato sauce, then spread mozzarella so white it almost glowed. She arranged the strange ribbons and bulbs wordlessly, the cheese bubbling around them. In the corner of her vision, she thought she saw something move, a tiny twitch under the parchment. But when she blinked, there was nothing. Into the roaring oven it went. The flames licked the underside of the pan, and the air filled with a smell that made Mia gag, iron and decay, sweet and putrid all at once. Even Tony backed away, crossing his arms. "Feels wrong," he muttered. Mia nodded, her stomach twisting. But the order had to go out. The boss was strict about on-time deliveries, and they couldn't afford a black mark. Transformation. As Mia slid the pizza onto the delivery cart, she noticed the webbed cracks in the crust seemed to pulse, tiny veins of dark red that throbbed against the golden surface. The cheese bubbled like scalding flesh. She shook her head, pinching the bridge of her nose. Maybe she was tired. Maybe the low hum of the neon sign was playing tricks on her. When she returned to the counter, the sauce bucket was nearly empty. She frowned, she'd made plenty of dough already. How had they all gone? And where were the extra toppings Tony said they'd stocked? He stared at the corner of the shop where empty sauce jars stood. They took them. Mia's chest tightened. Tony. A piercing scream cut them off. It echoed from the back room where the boxes had been unpacked. They ran, fists clenched. The boxes lay open, empty, save for splatters of thick, dark liquid seeping into the floorboards. The pungent metallic scent hit them like a wave. Then they saw it, a single sausage, one of the gray strips, lay on the ground, writhing as it moved. Flesh-like tendrils stretched out, probing the air. Mia bolted backward, tripping over a chair. Descent. The lights flickered and died, plunging the shop into near darkness. Thunder rattled the windows. Mia's breath came in short gasps as she scrambled to find the breaker box. Tony's silhouette darted past, clutching a fire extinguisher. When the lights clicked back on, the shop had changed. The walls were smeared with streaks of red and black. Behind the counter, the dough mixer worked itself on full speed, as if unseen hands were kneading. From the oven, Mia heard scraping, sharp, deliberate. She crept forward. The oven door was slightly ajar. A grotesque shape emerged, the pizza, transformed. The cheese dripped like molten wax, and the strange ingredients had fused into something living, tentacles that twisted and flailed, dropping blobs of ooze onto the floor. The crust's veins pulsed violently. How, what, Mia stammered. Tony raised the extinguisher. I'm ending this. He charged, but the pizza surged forward, slithering off its pan. It moved faster than she thought possible. One tentacle lashed out, knocking Tony to the ground. He screamed as the ooze seeped into his uniform, eating through fabric, skin, bone. Mia wanted to scream too, but her voice was trapped. She ran for the door, but it slammed shut on its own. The bell's jingle sounded hollow. The windows darkened, as though the night itself had swallowed every street lamp. The confrontation. Tony's screams faded into gurgles. Mia found herself backed against the counter, frying pans and pizza cutters clattering to the floor. The pizza creature hovered, slime dripping from its maw of sharpened dough. It burbled, a wet, gurgling sound that felt like a heartbeat. In a flash of absurd courage, Mia grabbed the heaviest pizza peel she could find. She lunged, striking the creature's core of bubbling cheese and veins. The peel sank in with a sickening squelch, and the thing howled, if a pizza could howl. It recoiled, leaving a smear of black fluid across the tiles. The exit lights flickered, the oven's glow dimmed. The creature thrashed, shrinking, sputtering, until it collapsed into a pool of sludge. Mia dropped the peel, trembling. She didn't look back as she yanked the door open and bolted into the rain-soaked alley. The bell chimed once, a hollow echo, before the shop fell silent. Aftermath. By dawn, Mia was huddled under a flickering streetlight, staring back at Dante's Pizza. The neon sign buzzed on, but the windows were dark. Customers wouldn't be in for hours, but when they arrived, would they find a normal shop? A pizza joint like any other? Mia didn't know. She felt the memory of those pulsating ribs of dough in her nightmares, and she knew what lurked behind ordinary boxes, waiting to be baked. And as the first light of morning touched the wet pavement, she vowed never to return. Yet somewhere in the deep, stale cavern of Dante's basement, faint scraping began again. A new shipment rattled its lid. And someone, somewhere, placed an order for the midnight special.